firepower front here on the complexity side of things, right? I think a lot of it is just about kind of, you know, working on this teamwork, working on your basics and making sure you've got that down. And then I feel like the rest should just fall into place for this complexity squad.
Let's take a look at these rosters as they stand. Now, you're saying words like Juggernaut. Well, don't worry. There's already a Juggernaut in the server. He goes by Blame F, as you said. This guy, absolute unit, and what he's done with complexity is pretty impressive. You have to kind of look at that, tip your hat, or fedora, Hugo, whatever it is that you're going to tip his way.
I'm not a hat man. Maybe a beanie on a good day or a cold
day. Beanie.
Tip
Now
the
that,
beanie. Yeah.
That is interesting.
I always tell him he could look fedorable if he
I'm gonna scream.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, we do have Blame F highlighted, and there's an obvious reason. You got to think about at least what you're bringing to the table when you have a guy like this. He's been touted as someone that is bringing a very healthy sort of atmosphere into a team environment, which is pretty stellar. It's pretty outstanding.
I think that's so impressive to you know, like, come from, relatively speaking, kind of like just come from nowhere and be someone who you know, I mean, he got Jason Lake believing in him, right? And that's already like a huge first step. And I think, you know, when you look at this complexity organization and the mission that they've gone for, I think they've really gone for this, like, this good atmosphere and making sure that, like, and this is the good thing about a lot of these guys being kind of newer talents, is they're moldable. You know, you get to set them up, you get to make them how you want them to be. And so they focused on this positive atmosphere within the team.
So you're saying that there's a real chance for this to be the same factor over on the other side. When we start to talk about forwards, you got to look at players like Facecrack, Jerry. Exit Power is what I'm looking at. But obviously, on top of it, they do have some hitters in the squad. Yeah,
it's going to be a trial by fire for forwards. Taking, I mean, Z-Power, you talk about that AWP head-to-head. Taking on Poison is not going to be an easy battle, right? Z-Power's certainly proven his value against some of the best teams in the world. But as of late, forwards have certainly dropped off. They had their peak last year. They showed us what they could do on the big stage in the major. And since then, I don't think they've reached those same heights.
I mean, we also saw fours at DreamHack Anaheim, right?
Yes.
But I mean, we barely saw fours because they bombed out at that event.
They lost to Endpoint.
Yeah, exactly right. And so, you know, I find myself thinking that for fours, they kind of like, they reach like the top of tier 2. And I hate like the tier system, but you know what I mean? They became like a team that was finishing first place or in pole position at so many of these smaller events. But I'm just looking at this team and I'm wondering, like, does this scale up? You know, does it go further than that? Or is this the peak now that they've reached with this iteration of the squad?
Well, perhaps we scale this one into a different light. We need to start talking about maps. We're going to run this veto by you all. I'm going to just go on a limb here and say Dust 2 is the first map of the series.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Complexity's best map. They always pick it into every series, and with it not getting insta-banned, you can only assume. Cool that Vertigo doesn't disappear straight away. I imagine that's going to come in as a second ban for either team, more likely Complexity, but it doesn't really matter. Train getting picked by fours, no surprises. A map the Complexity have not looked too great on, and Mirage being the third.
So this is a super interesting veto for a bunch of reasons. You've been touching upon Vertigo. I love that Complexity, they completely floated that all the way through, and that makes me wonder, you know, was that just them knowing that fours don't really like it either? Or was that them maybe with something up their sleeve? And I think when you look at these maps, this now becomes an even better time for Complexity. I honestly thought this was maybe going to be a 3-map series. If it is, I think Complexity take this very, very cleanly, because across the board, these maps look better for the side of Complexity.
Yeah, I think the main reason why they didn't insta-ban Vertigo was Inferno. That is a map that we've seen Complexity lean towards playing, but it's never been good to them. It's the exact map that made them lose in the qualifier against Smash as well to get into the major, or the minor system rather. They got there eventually, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time.
Here's a whole nother story for you. GG.bet, the official bookmakers of the season. They do have the odds. They were reflected there. You can also get plus 200% deposit right there. So make sure you head over there, and if you do it responsibly. We're going to go ahead and start to jump into this first match. This first map being Dust 2, we do find ourselves situated at the crossroads between Complexity and fours, and this is the place where it all goes down. Starting on the map of Dust 2, guys, just right off the top, we already gave our predictions.
Yeah.
But is there a chance that they rally this one? Did they give us a fight?
Okay, so, well, here's the good things for forwards. They are 3 for 3 on this map. So technically, you know, they're...
Complexity have proven to be onliners, not onliners. Fours, not that I want to call them onliners, but they have played plenty of online matches, and they have no problem with being in the comfort of their own homes. Will that be a problem for Complexity, who, for some of those players, are a whole continent away from where they should be? But either way, they're going to have to take on the big boys of fours and do it with style.
Now, I could be wrong, but I believe Complexity's playing out of Denmark.
Yes, I've heard that.
Which, you know, that's obviously a one-up to them. They get to kind of play together and continue down what would be a normal path there. I would love to see this project just flourish. I would love to just see it take off like wildfire. I would like to have to at least look at this and say, okay, what's holding them back? That's not as easy to pinpoint.
No, and
I think we need to give them time before we say things are holding them back. They haven't played enough of these big top-tier, Tier 1 lands versus the best teams in the world. Time is everything. We need to give some time the way of complexity before we see whether they are a world beater or if that showing back in London was a one-trick pony. I don't think it is.
You bring up that showing back in London. Well, in case anyone missed it, that was obviously where Complexity came second in their group back at Blast. And that was a group that featured Na'Vi, Astralis, and Vitality.
Group of death.
Yeah, literally the hardest group, I think it's fair to say. They come second along with Na'Vi. That's the thing, they've already shown us some great potential, but now we see if that's replicatable and if that's going to be kind of their baseline. Let's get into this though, as the pistol round's actually underway now, and Config is looking down through mid. An immediate cat to short play from fours. Now, these have become so common, especially in these pistol rounds, right? Allmaze has got the smoke. He drops that down, and that's going to give them... that's actually for CT. So that's going to make these rotations up towards the crossroads that much harder. And now Face Crack down at the crossroads. He's in this forward position. He spots one of these players at long. Fours have got themselves the A-bomb site. Complexity have given this up. They've got the read. They know what's happening. And now, with Rush getting that kill, they're 5-on-4 in this retake. So they've left themselves a man up. This is actually very good for Complexity. They've kind of made the best out of a bad scenario here.
Yeah, Face Crack really trying to force out engagement versus the USP that is certainly going to be better at range. Coming in from long, Config gets one, but trade in the spawn. That's where these two Ts sit, but that's not very helpful for the bomb plant. Z-Power's got to do it all on the site on his own, and the P250 will not stand tall. Neither will the rest of his team. It's Complexity in with the retake and taking the first round of Dust 2. Their map pick in the series, and Fours picking to start on the T side. They will at least get that money, and a Force could come through early.
So the thing that's so important in that pistol round there is doubling up with both those players at long and keeping that avenue open, because then as you're rotating the rest of the team through catwalk and short, which is where you're expecting them to come from, right, as mid and B players, you keep Fours trapped in that bomb site, and they cannot fight you long when they're only armed with those Glocks. So that is a stellar move from Complexity, and now I think we need to keep an eye on Fours. If they run that again, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a long lurk coming in a little bit later into the round to try and stop exactly that from this Complexity side.
More likely what you're going to see on those rifle rounds for sure, but Fours, they've actually taken an eco in this one. Just P250s, a couple of upgraded pistols here rather, and some Kevlar on Flit. So nothing too fancy as Complexity sit with a lot of rifles. They're not playing around. They don't want those SMGs, and Config is just taking scalps out of middle.
Oof, and so is Jerry, my goodness. Config's dreams, short-lived. He's going to get his dome piece taken away, and that's going to give us a 4 versus 4. Still not a super amount of map control here for Fours, and, well, they don't really have the armament to really take Complexity to the ramparts, but we'll keep our eyes focused.
At this point, you're just waiting out Complexity, trying to hope they give you some kills with these Deagles. But you can see Complexity are holding very tight angles. You've got Carr from Poison with the scout. You've got Blame holding the mid walkout, not peeking that gap. I guess he goes a little bit wider, but it works out wonderfully. And Flit with a P250 is gone as well. Just 1 by 1 here for Complexity, and they shouldn't be losing any more players in this round unless those Deagles catch them off guard. Ooh, it's messy, but that's another kill from Blame, and this should be all she wrote.
Very well could be.
Pop.
I remember from the last season of Pro League, we saw that, I think it was Sprout who made that, like, was it Sprout? I don't know. One of the teams made that smoke that you throw from, like, towards
T-spawn to cat,
that goes all the way to cat. Yeah, I would love
to
see a bit more of that.
I mean, this is the team for it.
That's what I was thinking, right? I think if anyone was going to start to bring in little things like that, it's going to be Fours. Jerry, I think, is a very good talking point within this squad, right? He is like this charismatic leader that everyone found themselves kind of being a fan of Jerry.
Yep.
I don't even know if it started just because his name is Jerry, but he's also like a lovely guy who gives us great, insightful answers into what's going on, like behind the scenes with this team. So the buy's back in anyway. I'll stop, just bigging up Jerry's ego and focus on this duel going down towards the tunnels. Obo's actually going to keep things even in a 4-on-4 in this round at least. Mid control's attempted. Jerry, the magician, he's made his gun disappear, but now he's got to try and follow up by making Config disappear down here towards CT. And that's a pretty hard task for even the best in the dark arts of Magic. Let's see if he can get the job done.
I'm wondering where this will end up. Double cat setup for Complexity means if fours go towards that, it could be a nightmare. But they have players inside of the tunnels, so it could be a late mid to B with the bomb coming in through the tunnels as well. We'll have to wait and see, because Complexity have a pretty powerful setup no matter what fours do, assuming that's not long, and they're not backing up. A minute on the clock, smoke going out towards CT. Config, he's going to try and retreat towards the B site. Has utility to cut off one side of this split, but now the push is coming in through mid.
Yeah, he's given them certainly an opportunity here, but the fight's going to be coming from mid. It's actually going to be that mid to be split. Almazar finds one, and it's Obo cleaning up from Closet. Looks for a third, thinks he finishes off X-Power.
Oh, no.
And wow, what a shot there. It's just going to be him versus Rush and Blame F. You'll be able to get this bomb planted. And now a 2 versus 1 retake. 10 HP, AWP in hands, and now he's going to have to set in for the long haul. It's not going to be that long, though. Rush will be there to answer the call. And we're going to see another round go to Complexity here after some weapons come out for fours.
I wonder, are they going to grab the AWP? Yeah, they do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they had money to buy one, right? I was wondering if they were going to keep double Krieg, but I think it's just still too early days.
Yeah.
I think he'd rather the AWP anyway.
Especially considering Z-Power found first blood in that round by killing Poison. As far as I'm concerned, Poison didn't have the AWP just yet. So, you know, getting the AWP and knowing that Z-Power is at least hitting a shot early, Poison wants to shut him out of the round. But luckily, it's almost done for him. Pistols out for fours, no money, no chance. It's a B rush here with a good spawn. Let's see if they can get in.
Yeah, I mean, in these sorts of partial investment rounds, you're already leaning towards a B play. With 3 players kind of spawned so far over towards this side of the map, you imagine that's what's going to come in. But that smoke's gone down early from Complexity, and so that's at least going to buy them a little bit of time over here. And for fours, they'll leave upper tunnels. They go down towards mid, maybe a mid to B split, as they still leave a player over in the upper tunnels. Config trying to hold down middle. He's actually held back as the smokes have gone in. They've already gotten by it. Now the players inside of this B site have got to try and hold the line. Obo, a little bit blurry as he gets taken down. The pace is getting picked up, and Blame F tries to disappear, tries to get away, but he can't. They do lose Jerry down in mid. Z-Power and Allmazer, though, they've got this bomb planted. They've retrieved weapons. They've got a Krieg and an M4 between them, and a 2 versus 3. There's still a chance here in this round.
Certainly is. Poison, though, doing what Poison has to do with AWP. Now, X-Power finds himself in a real awkward position, having to retake. They don't know his position. He does have the information. He does see Rush standing in the doorway. No one has even gotten the peace of mind that they're coming from middle. He's going to grab the first kill on a Poison, buys himself some more time. Tries to flash out, looks for the kill, and he does it with ease. Good stuff there from X-Power to put that first round on the board for fours.
Yeah, completely unaware. Complexity is so tunnel vision towards the tunnels. They had no idea Z-Power was going on that long rotate round. And, well, a free kill onto Poison, jumping back on top of the site to get that defuse going. And at that point, it's a done round. Rush can't do anything. Runs straight through the flashbang, and Z-Power is able to find the first round for fours. More than necessary getting on the board early on this T side, and it's somewhat hurt the money of Complexity as well. Double scouts out with a Deeg on Obo. Not where you want to be, but that is a start for Blame F.
Oh. See you later, man. See you later.
Wow.
That is filth. That was an obvious scout, and Blame F doesn't even get touched on the mid peak. I mean, to be fair, it's not even a peek, is it? It's just through the door.
It's a drive-by.
So, yeah, that's phenomenal. And that's a start that Complexity are going to be so happy with. Face Crack also getting tagged up now just makes him that much more vulnerable to these scouts, right? The AWP over on the side of 4 as well. He's literally 1 shot away from death, and so they've got to be a bit careful about this now. There's still unarmed players for Complexity who could look to upgrade onto these weapons. Thankfully, the relief effort is in. It's Flit and Allmazer to start to turn the advantage back in favor of fours. This is a round they should be picking up. You know, there was very little on the Complexity side for them to work with. Now just Obo left to get past, and this time he represents no problem over at the B-bomb site. He's shut down immediately. It's 2 versus 3 for Cole, but do they want to give this one a go? I'm not so sure.
No kits, as of right now at least.
Grab guns and skedaddle.
They're not going to be playing these reindeer games, not with fours.
Once again,
Blame F and Rush are going to save AK and a Krieg. And that's going to be a second round here for fours.
Rush has had a fantastic start to this game, not just in the observing, but also in the server. 7-1 right now, really fragging out.
Interesting thing you said there, because Rushley is on the line. I think he can hear us. Perhaps we can bring him in. Rushley, how you doing over there, man? You enjoying the game so far?
Yeah, so far so good. It's some good fun, some good stuff so far. I really like that Rush guy. That Rush guy's really, what a guy, man.
He's really popping off. Rushley, I just have to ask you, you're looking at this. Who's your heavy hitter out of the 10 players on the server?
Well, it's got to be that Rush guy again. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Even after something like that.
Well,
let's just run this back.
Do?
Boom. See you later.
What can you do about that? I mean, Blameless pretty good as well. He's got the muscles, but Rush has got the looks, he's got the brain.
Hey, Rush has got the muscles too.
Well, yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, he's got some thick arms.
To be fair, every Dane I play against in matchmaking does that exact same shot to me on Dust 2. So, was it really that impressive from Blameless?
I will take it. Now, Rushley, one thing I want to ask you before we head back in the game. This is obviously attack pause. What are you saying in this moment if you are the side of complexity, if you have found yourself down 2 rounds just recently?
It's 3-2. I won't be too worried at the moment. I think they've got the resolve to keep it together, to be honest.
I'm thinking about like your coach speech. That's what I really want to hear. I
was
saying
to the boys, look, guys, we're not out of this yet. We're 5 rounds in. I know you're all whining a bit here. There's some maybe kills that maybe shouldn't have happened, but I think stay strong. I see Obo's bought a Zeus, so it looks like they're still having a good time. I think the morale's high.
All still mates. Thank you so much, Rushley.
No worries. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, that is our observer, and I do love the fact that we can just have him on the line at any given time of the day. You get to hear him say, "Hey, future pros."
We could get team comms, or we could just get Rush to tell us what the team is probably saying. And I'm a big fan of that.
Well, I'm being told that it is going to be a little bit of a stoppage, if you will.
That's actually not that bad, Trace. I've got a lot to say. I'm a very opinionated
Where do you want to start?
person.
You want to go ahead and kick it in the podcast mode?
So let's start with everyone just, you know what? I'm just going to keep it CS related in the beginning.
Okay.
Wait, what's this? Kohli yet to lose a Dust 2 game as a core 5, winning 3 of 3 matches on LAN.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. And that kind of goes hand in hand with, even going through that kind of change period within the team, this was still a great map for them historically. So that's what I was going to look at, right? I wanted to take a look at Anaheim and the results there. Fours, they come last at that DreamHack. And the reason why I think that's significant is you look at the end of 2019 and exactly what it entailed for this Fours squad. And it was just kind of good result after good result, relatively speaking. They had a good few first placings at DreamHack. They won Winter. They came 3rd at Rotterdam. They won the We Play Forge Masters season. They won ESCA MDL. They were churning out all these victories. And then they come into 2020 and it's just underwhelming at Anaheim. And that was kind of the real takeaway. So I think for Fours, this is proving it to themselves and us that they're not down and out, right? That this start to the year was a bit of a fluke and that they are ready to get back to that level that they were at and continue climbing. At least I hope that's the case.
Rush, can you change the station, please, in the car? The radio that we're listening to is it's obviously a broken radio. So.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I think this is a very nice ride we do find ourselves in. And obviously, for what you're talking about there, Harry, I think that you're onto something as well. There's a lot of potential within this squad. There's a lot of things that they have shown already in terms of just individual performance. So perhaps they can get on the right track. Again, this is a short pause, I hope. And we are on Complexity versus Fours. VSL Pro League Season 11. This is Group B. We have kicked it off today. And it has been a good one thus far. If you are joining us, welcome, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Trace, that's very,
I'm just saying,
very
hey,
polite
man.
of you. No, I like it. I like you.
No,
we can tailor the responses. But no, what I was going to say, right, something else I really wanted to do, Trace, was an EPL meme review.
Okay.
We don't have a graphic for it or anything. We have nothing prepared.
Of course.
But, just as like forewarning, it's happening at some point. We're going to get Trace Saranta stood up here reviewing memes.
Yeah, one by one, maybe even push them on the board over here.
Yeah, if you want to get ahead of the curve and submit that, hashtag ESL or EPL meme review. Sorry.
Okay. Well, here's
Has to be original.
A little bit of an update, though. We are going to get back to the memes. Trust me, it's all about the memes. Currently, Poison is experiencing some internet issues, hence the delay. So we will sit and stand idly by, which does bring me to another question. I think, obviously, this is a little bit more off topic, but standing desks. What are we thinking about standing desks?
Ooh, you know, if you've got a chair available, yeah, all for it. But eventually, sometimes the legs, they do cave, and you want to take a seat.
See, I'm a big standing desk fan.
No, Harry, you couldn't do that. You're a pacing desk fan.
Yeah,
you walk back and forth
well,
and
yeah,
back
dude.
and
I think
forth
it's
and forth
important
and
to
back.
stay mobile. You know, we are the mobile generation of mobile gamers.
Or mobile phones.
Yeah,
Generation M.
and so yeah, dude, Generation M. I think the good thing with standing desks is that you're a lot more like free in your diaphragm. Is that the right place to keep talking? Whenever I sit down for too long and try and speak, I just get out of breath.
Well, what is your posture like when you're sitting down? Is the real question.
Atrocious,
that you can't
man.
breathe,
I kind of like hunch up into a ball. No, but you know what I mean. Like you can just project more when you're stood up. I think that's like actually science as opposed to.
Do people play
just science.
better? Would you play better standing up? Do you think is that going to be?
I would
the
love to
2020
try. Do
land?
we have any standing deskers out there who do play games standing up, or is that just for like casual office work? You know, is that for typing up an email quickly to your boss explaining why I'm not coming in today? I've got a couple of games I need to check off my list.
When we were in the Cloud9 house, they had given us standing desk, and they were pretty sick. I was trying to game on it, you know, right? And it's this weird sensation. It's not necessarily the same sort of feel, the same sort of vibe with your arms and stuff. It really does take some getting used to. Speaking of getting used to, this pause isn't something you should get used to. I'm told that we have roughly 1 minute, maybe less, to jump back into the game here, which is Dust 2 and Complexity in fours in their opening match of Group B. But yes, standing desks, I would say it's healthy. I have one at home. It's mechanical, though, so it is rather monotonous to push up and down.
Yeah, Poison having internet issues. I wonder if he is playing from Bulgaria or Denmark with his team, because I'd imagine, like, you know, if you're playing from Denmark, you're all going to be together. So maybe he isn't with the team, and that could be that could be part of the reason.
We've all been there.
Now, Jason Lake, Mr. J Lake, I know that you are watching out there. If you are here, if you could sign this guy's mouse pad, and then we'll go from there.
Well, we're back in, Trace. No more waiting around, no more watching. Hopefully the ping is fixed as we get into the online match of Complexity versus Fours. Another mid-peak, this time from Poison. Won't quite be the Blame F wallbang. And Almeida getting caught out long. Somehow gets away with a kill. The grenade is perfect, but the shots are even better. 2 frags coming in for Fours. Make it a third before Complexity immediately get their trade. It might not be enough, though. Long has been given up, and Fours are going to be able to get this bomb plant. Poison laying down the pain through the smoke, though.
Sometimes you reset your internet, and you start hitting all the shots, and that was certainly one of them. But then that is short-lived. It's just Oboe 1v4. He does have a Krieg in hand, so perhaps he could just scurry off with that. That bomb gets planted on the A site. Oh, he's not going to be alive long enough to find it. So a 3-to-3 game here. We have a tie ball game.
Close as can be.
Yeah.
But not for long, because Complexity money is gone after that force buy. They're going to be left with 3,000 a player, so going to have to be an eco here. Give Fours the respect they deserve. Fours did not pick this map. Fours picked the T side because Complexity picked this map, right? So not really a surprise to see the Russians want to start on the terrorist half, go for some fast executes. I think T side on Dust 2 is honestly more favored at the moment. So
look at this.
Smart stuff. And Blame, look at him go.
He's sneaking. Oh no. How's that happen?
I don't know.
How has that happened? Z-Power's just been picked up by Poison. It's the clash of the Orps, but it's more like, you know, David versus Goliath over at the B-bomb side. It's not even. It's not Titans clashing.
He's killed him with a slingshot, Harry.
He has, and now he's still alive. Man advantage lies in Complexity playing the time in there. I mean, it's a little bit awkward. He actually had a teammate at bottom mid as well. I imagine he could have called if there were players coming out through lower, but a little problem there that's given up this 4-on-4. And it was kind of Blame's forward positioning and the fact he had a deagle that I had faith in Complexity in this round. Now that we're back into a 4-on-4, Fours are just going to hold because they've kind of already seen Complexity try and like force these gunfights, right? Try and push the envelope. And so they're just going to wait. They know the pressure went back to, oh, look, man, they just wait and they wait and they wait. And they're getting fed. And I mean, it's just gross, isn't it? But we're watching it. Poison put down as well. So Fours are going to take the lead, and they play that very, very well. That's very typical of Jerry, right? The second he kind of gets a hint as to what's going on in this round here, he makes the decision for it to slow right down, and that's the perfect counter to what Complexity were trying to do.
Nice kill from Poison in the tunnels. USP giving it a little bit more cash, and that will enable him to buy a smoke with his AWP. So it's the little things that matter, Harry. And Complexity now back on with a buy. Let's see if we have this AWP fight down middle as well. Not for the time being. Z-Power's taken his long spawn. Rush is going to be on the other side, and he will jump past the crosshair. The Molotov landing a second later. Fours, they do have those fast long spawns, but they can't do anything with them.
No, they can't. Trying to garner a little bit of map control here will be Fours. Working their way slowly up Catwalk, a little bit weary of this mid position. X-Power's going to keep his AWP trained on that side. Well, they group up, try to figure out how they want to approach the problem that is Complexity. Entrenched, a good bit of utility, rifles, and even bigger nades.
Blame, man, he has such massive arms. He can lob that over the doors, bounce it into Catwalk. It's nothing. Fours. Lots of health lost, and up Catwalk they go. The molly to clear close. This is smart. Complexity have had double cat setups in the past, so Fours making sure they wait it out, making sure Complexity don't have this control. And right now it's just Poison on the AWP. He's watching long with the rush setup on anti-flash, but Harry, we've got exactly what you want. This cat take from Fours with a long lurk. Will the lurk be of any impact, though, as 4 players run the gauntlet towards A?
Yeah, this time Poison isn't going to fall back immediately, right? He's keen on putting this AWP to use and trying to turn it into the advantage of Complexity. Ooh, they try and get underneath, they try and get by, and they have kind of. Ooh, never mind. No, they haven't. No, they have not, but at least that bomber's gone down. Now the AWP's been picked up again, and Allmazer arrives from long. That lurk finally comes in. This time, he's not going to commit. He actually moves away, but Jerry's been deleted inside of the bomb site, and it's only Allmazer left. He's gone on this very long rotation. No one from Complexity's seen him. He's roasted, he's toasting, but he still shuts down Config, who in his dying breath, by the way, burns him from beyond the grave. Bit of revenge as the defuse comes on in. Complexity are going to get the 4th. This double long setup is working perfectly to counter this this catwalk play from Fours.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Complexity even countered Allmazer's position. I think Allmazer had a fantastic round there. It's just unfortunate that his team couldn't stay alive long enough on the site. Z-Power scoped up towards long, actually misses Obo coming up through CT elevator, very clearly on his screen, but not caught as the scope or the view model gets in his way. And that will be Complexity finding a very clean retake as well on that A site. Another long pick maybe here. Z-Power giving it a go, and it will work. Config getting killed on the cross, and finally it pays dividends for Fours. They will take their man advantage in another crucial round, because Complexity, they don't have that bank built up. Just a single round in a row, and Fours are looking to send it right back, but a bit of a tunnels push. Facecrack just peels off the angle. Unfortunate timing as 2 members of Complexity take control of the upper halls.
Yeah, they've got their eyes peeled here for the B tunnels. They've got complete control of it. AWP overlooking the steps. It's going to be Obo that pushes through, just missing on the timing there. Jerry staying out of his crosshairs. But now this could prove to be a big problem here for the side of Fours. Obo's able to push uncontested. Rush will do the same in tandem on Catwalk. Gets himself 2. Now we have a 4 versus 2. And well, this does not look pretty. They're going to try to advance over here towards the A site from long, it looks like.
Ooh. Okay, that's a good kill. And that's big, because now Poison's attention is divided. That actually allows Facecrack to pounce out from middle. Bearing in mind, he'd snuck out there earlier on in the round. And now he's turned around with the AWP, and this leaves Obo alone. He's just made noise, but he wins the fight onto Facecrack. Allmazer is a big question mark, however, and now the game is up. And spraying down it's Obo, who's famous, has looked incredible. He's had this now at a couple of rounds, the famous over towards B, and this isn't his first time with a big multi-kill to make something happen with that gun, a gun that really doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
So I'm loving this from Obo right now.
If you are Complexity, though, you're not happy with how that all kind of broke down there. That round got really close for them.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's important to realize that Fours, did a very good job of grabbing the tiny opportunities that they were given to actually make that look doable, right? Because Complexity, I don't really think they misplayed that. They saw that they had the bomb over towards kind of the B area of the map. They grouped up there because they'd just taken upper tunnels. They just show in their hand there. So I think they're anticipating that fours were going to try and get that area of the map back. They're 4-on-2, and it was Allmazer winning that crucial fight up into the bomb site that then just puts all that pressure on the CT player. But focusing on this round here and now, Allmazer, once again, being the man to create space, gets that kill onto Blame F down in mid. And so now, 5-on-3, things are looking great for fours. Obo, this time doesn't have a FAMAS. He's onto the M4, and once again, he's got to try and hold down the B bomb site, but this time, he cannot get it done. And I think, you know, with the AWP, no money, M4, that's all you've got, 2 versus 5. You're not even attempting this. You might not even get away either.
Oh my goodness, face crack, just absolutely eliminating Poison right there. It was a good shot. 5 members alive for fours at the end of this round. And that's gonna help out their monetary situation. Also, a little tidbit here as we do see this round kind of end itself. Rush gonna hold on to the M4 there towards T-spawn. Not entirely sure that he's gonna get sniffed out, but I guess it's possible. I wanted to say that on the first day of Pro League, viewer records were broken.
Yeah.
Over 146,000 concurrent viewers. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that tuned in yesterday. And if you are joining us again today, thank you yet again. This is ESL Pro League Season 11. And we are happy to have you.
And if we budget these views well enough, we could break a record every day.
We could.
So, you know, that's kind of the ball's in your court, really. You know, like... We'll give it our best shot. But yeah, Trace, I was wondering, right? You know, you've obviously been very, very close with NA teams in the past.
Yeah, I might know a couple.
What's kind of the difference in like attitude in the server between like the NA guys in your experience to maybe like EU players?
Well, if I do say so, when you look at back then how players used to treat each other in terms of like teammates and whatnot, it was just a completely different atmosphere. I think now there's a lot more pressure placed on the individual. And obviously, with these lineups, it's more so that it's not as player-controlled and more now that the org has a say in it. So attitudes, I think, shift a little bit based off of that. And probably a little bit more healthy this day and age, if I can say.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, hang on a second. The timing there is so unfortunate for Rush. The one player who had a rifle in this round just gets timing over towards short. And it's getting bad to worse. Jerry and Flip mop it up.
Look at that, though. They got 3 kills out of that.
Yeah, I mean, they start to come in through the smoke. So
considering Rush does nothing with that rifle, Config and Poison get out with a hell of a lot on those USPs. So I think it's still a successful round for Complexity. Those ecos, you know, if you get a couple of kills, if you make it costly, you know, we already talked about fours keeping 5 alive in the round prior to that. Well, they lose some men here, and now if Complexity can follow up with a rifle round a win, fours are going to be, well, strapped for cash. But that's an if and not necessarily a when, because Complexity still need to pick up this round and limited in the weaponry. No AWP for Poison. Rush is on an SMG. Faster round for fours, and I like the confidence. Flick gets heard, though. Molotov does tick at his feet. There's a man in the spawn, and Flick's fighting through the smoke. He's found Config. The smoke eluding Blame F. He can't find this refrag. Obo doesn't need to peek. He's got his teammate covering this, but he'll go for it anyway and take the kill. Still more members of fours moving towards this B site, though, and it's going to be a split with Obo on his own. Has to stand tall.
Yeah, he had to find an answer right there. He's able to get one. Is it going to be enough? He lines him up. A ton of damage done to Jerry and face crack. Overall, they're going to get this bomb site. They're going to get this bomb down, and it's smelling like another save here from Complexity. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more Obo can do there. If he can get away with a kill, if he can stall any longer and maybe kill the mid-split instead, there's a chance Complexity can retake. But if you're not getting at least an equal trade there on B, we're going to see the standard setup. Save, man down, no money, falls with a 7th. This is so far the beginning of a great T side. And in Complexity's map pick as well, they might be getting a little bit sweaty, Harry.
Yeah, I think if you're Complexity, you're getting maybe a little bit worried, but perhaps, you know, you just turn it around. Like, that's the weird thing with Dust, man, is it does just seem to be very much like a game of two halves in that you always see like but what I mean is it's like that's always how it goes. Like we're always going what feels like the distance on this map, and I think that's because teams kind of relatively speaking are having a bit of an easier time over on the T side. I think that with the Krieg meta being so damn strong right now, Dust 2, a map that is just full of these open sight lines, these long routes of engagement, the Krieg is fantastic.
CS is a game
of two halves. You're writing that down? That's going on the little sticky note.
It is.
Sex Power has competed on fours for 731 total days, boasting 11,000 frags.
I'm gonna work out.
Not his name, but I kind of like it. You know.
I'm gonna try and work out how many frags that is a day. So we're just gonna call it 11,700. Do you remember how many
90
days?
Something. Oh wait, days.
Yeah, it's like 719 or something.
Something like that.
Oh, that's 16 frags a day. That's pretty
weak.
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
I was ready for it to be crazy.
I'm assuming he's not playing every day of the year, though, Harry.
Yeah, Harry, what the hell?
Yeah, that's
Harry.
true.
Come on,
if he plays
man.
every other day, that's 32 frags a day. Now that
give the guy some
is a
credit,
stat.
will you, Harry? I know you want to debunk it all, but please. My goodness. Fours,
No,
though.
man, I'm just crunching the numbers, and
He's
they taste
people too.
delicious. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, surely they're not going to pop through this smoke.
I think Obo's the big
boy.
boy. He can get it done. Look, in the smoke, hidden. Oh, he's thin, so he dodges the bullets. Left and right.
What is going on?
He's still just alive. Here's another Deagle config to come in and get a little bit more. 3-on-3, rotation up from Complexity. They get the rifles outside of the site. The flashbang's good. And Blame F and Rush have turned this all on its head. Jerry, woo, little one tap, takes down Poison, but no more. Clash of the big brains and Complexity come out on top.
Don't get me wrong, I love the fast pace from fours. I love the fact that they ran out through mid in the round prior, but it's an anti-eco. You know the Complexity have low money. You know they're going to be on pistols, and you're running through a smoke into B. That's just such a crazy call. Obo even pulls out the knife. We didn't get to see it because of the view model. Hopefully we can get that fixed. But yeah, crazy scenes.
I'm pretty sure Obo had a real Monka-esque situation.
Yeah,
right there.
you know,
that
when
was,
you're just stuck. Right?
That was a sweaty one right there. But I was surprised he stayed alive as long as he did.
Yeah, Fours have just given Complexity a way back into this game, by the way. They've just given them the chance to 8-7 this half, and if that's how it ends up, Fours are going to be thinking about that round all damn day. That's an unfortunate one. And what else have they got in their pocket? Back to this faster mid approach again. We've got Jerry up close and support from the AWP. AWP of which is also in the hands of Complexity. Poison donning that on the A bomb site, waiting for cat control. And Fours, this has been successful for them. They've been able to cross towards a site and get bomb plants. But this time, Poison playing on the site rather than Car gives him a chance to really lay down some pain. Last time they ducked below his shots, but this time they have to run straight towards him.
Yeah, Poison. Oh, there's a lot of Molotovs coming his way. He is getting toasty over a ramp. Things are heating up. And Poison has a man pushed close. Face Crack does what he says on the tin and doubles down. Yow. Both the kills come in over towards alongside. Oh, Z-Power shut down Blame F.
There we go.
And Face Crack, a man who had been very, very quiet in the first few rounds of this game. For the longest time, I think he was actually bottom of the board with just 2 kills. In these last few, he's come alive. And this is kind of setting a bit of a worrying tone. Like I say, I still want to see, you know, what kind of heat, what kind of confidence Complexity bring in this second half. We're still pretty split down the middle, but these last few, it's more how favorable they've been to Fours, right? And how the team has been kind of synergizing together. We haven't had to have any of these like big plays from what we've had from Obo over on the Complexity side.
This is such a nice setup from Complexity as well. They have so many players towards middle and catwalk. They've crunched mid in a previous round where Obo pushed the upper tunnels, and we had Rush on cat as well to take away a frag once Fours' attention was diverted. This is similar. Poison AWPing mid, he's backed up, but Config is still close, and Rush, Blame F rather, can swing if he knows that Fours is distracted. They're not right now. They are focused heavily in on the middle and catwalk, walking close towards Poison. If he can get another shot off here and draw them in, this is where Blame F can strike.
Oh, Config held down by Poison, and it's a 7-8 half split right down the middle at the very, very end. Fours narrowly in the lead here. Complexity 1 round behind on their map pick to kickstart the day. Are they going to turn it around, or is this going to be Fours turning up the heat and looking to take us the distance in this series? Join us after a quick break to find out.
You have to fight again, so take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry, with your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry. Brings you to your knees. Rising of the ashes, coming from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper.
ESL Pro League Season 11, we have fours taking on that of Complexity right here in the opener for Group B. We can take a look at Almazar, at least for the stats of what he's been able to accomplish so far on Dust 2. Been quite a good showing here for the side of fours. I'm joined with Harry and Hugo, and they're going to tell you a little bit probably of the same thing. Isn't that right, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm actually in the process of crunching some numbers for us right this second. You
like
know?
with a calculator or like off the top of your head?
You think Harry can count?
Yeah, with a calculator.
You guys are mean to each other.
With a calculator, you'll be glad to know right now. Yeah, so I went and had a little look, and so it's 54% is the win rate of T rounds from Complexity historically on Dust 2. So the T side is usually the better one. We kind of expected that. And it's also about that exact percentage that they're going to need to push themselves over the line. So they just kind of need to repeat history here on the Complexity side, and they'll be all good.
And I have to ask you, Hugo, do you stand by his numbers? Do you stand by his crunched attempted numbers there?
I trust whatever Harry says.
Oh, now
points.
that is an interesting one right there by itself. But that does bring a pretty good statistic. Thank you very much, Harry. We're going to be jumping back into the game right here, right now. Was a little bit of a delay, but these things do tend to happen. We're looking at a pistol round, and we're looking at one that Complexity wants to grab to keep their foot in the door of this game.
Yeah, more than necessary. Moving over to the T side as well, the pace can be dictated by them. Fours, they had a lot of variety in their T side. It was spicy, Trace. It had some flavor to it. They had a lot of fast mid plays, some quick cat executes, some long picks, while also being able to slow it down in middle and set up for those slower mid to B rounds. But, you know, I like variety, Trace. I like it.
I do too. And speaking of variety, we got plenty of that for you today because we do have this matchup going on right here, Complexity versus Fours. This is your opener. We'll be following that along with Na'Vi taking on North. That'll be the second matchup of the day. And a little bit of Fnatic and Big, the hot match. We're going to close it out with that. First and foremost, though, we're going to jump into the skybox with Hugo.
Yeah, we have a couple of cool things. So talking of the pace of fours specifically, in some of the rounds that they set up for those slow mid to Bs, Complexity's had some really good counters to Fours' slower approaches. Here's one where Obo flanks the low tunnels, is able to get a kill. There's plenty of distraction, enabling Rush to also get aggressive up on Catwalk. Now, that is an exact round that Complexity ran a couple of times and even closed out the half in a similar fashion. But we're getting back into the game, so we will hold off on the rest of that for maybe later. 8-7.
The Skybox. Thank you so much to the developers of that. Shout out Mr. Anders Bloom, or Bloom is probably more appropriately said. Ooh. Also, j.storm, the official bookmakers here of Season 11. Now, we've gotten the nitty-gritty out of the way. We're looking at the pistol round. 5 members alive on both sides.
Yeah, but dink damage done to either team. Blame and Jerry put down to 5 and 6 respectively, and a crawl through long for Complexity. Luckily enough, it's been left barren and open. No one here but Rush.
Hey, Rush.
And that's in both senses of the word, because he's also out through long. Rush creeping on forward, looking to be the first man in, but it's Poison the first man down. Oh dear, the USPs are winning right now. And with very little damage done in response from the Glocks, utility still left. They get flashed in for this peak, and it's just the mop-up. Oboe, the last man left alive in a 1v5. He's got a lot of work to do, but he's helped out. Face Crack has put down Flit. Now, if he's careful, he might just bide his time and wait for this power struggle to tear Fours apart, but instead he tries to go for the gunfight. And yeah, he'll get given the USP to the head. That's the 9th round on the board for Fours.
That is accurate. And there you have it. We're going to see some upgraded weapons. You're going to go ahead and put the M4 in Jerry's hands.
Force is a bit of a surprise for Complexity. I'm not personally a huge fan of T-side forcing in this. I understand, you know, obviously this is delaying their rifle round by 1 and giving them a better buy when that does come. But yeah, these buys, this round never really goes too well for T's. The Deagles can hopefully find some picks, but that's only if Fours give them the engagements. Nice shot from Poison does tag up Z-Power. So slight damage already inflicted. And let's see if Complexity can play off the back of that. Coming out through lower late, only just now entering middle. Fours standard setups. No one on Catwalk though, and that gives a lot of room over to Complexity. If they want to use this utility to set smokes up towards A, is viable. Bomb is still in tunnels, so mid to B also an option. But Fours have double set up on the A ramp now, ready and waiting for this cat play that might indeed come through.
Well, speaking of coming through, perhaps I remind you all that it is St. Patrick's Day today. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. I would say pinch people that aren't wearing green, but I don't even know if that just sounds like some weird American thing that was created not long ago.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Trace.
Hey man, happy St. Patrick's Day to you too. Ooh. Even better happy day there with Big. Lights him up. Jerry's there with the response. Goes very well. He gets 3. He's looking to get this 4. There wasn't a lot of investment here for the side of Complexity this round, but they're holding on. And they're trying to get the bomb planted.
No.
Not going to happen. That nade was going to get him regardless. So Fours mop up that round with relative ease. Still, the money is in turmoil for Complexity. They're not going to be able to really get into this round with any weapons either.
And here's the rough result of that Force, right? Very minimal kills, no bomb plant, pretty much a second away from getting that down was Blame. Maybe if he went for the safer plant, he would have been unexposed to Catwalk, but there was such a quick flank from Fours that they were able to stop it. And yeah, I mean, this was eco regardless of the bomb plant, but now they really can't invest. A couple of Deagles, no Kev, no utility and Flit. He's just getting confident, pushing in through the lower tunnels, finding free kills, and Config looking the wrong way will be Fours all over middle. Look at the amount of map control they are stealing out of the hands of Complexity, and there's very little these guys can do about it, because one by one these fries are falling, and Blame and Rush are all that remain. Deagle at least picked up, but oh, that's a nice kill. Surely no more with the flank, and well, Blame, he's stuck in the tunnels with no bomb.
Yeah, you know, he's got the B bomb site, but a bomb site without the bomb is a little incomplete. So Blame F is going to have to go searching here, not only for that package, but for any players he might be willing to give up the gunfight. He's got the element of surprise, and it's gone now, as is Blame F. It's an 11th round for Fours, no armor there over on the Complexity side. You weren't expecting them to do much.
Having the bomb site without having the bomb is like having a birthday cake without having candles. There's nothing to blow.
Yeah.
Come on. Give me a chance here, guys.
Oh, I mean, it's, you know, it's a tough
crowd. It's okay.
What do you think, Twitch chat? Yay or nay? Do we think that we have a funny man?
Oh, dear.
Do you guys think Hugo could find something to blow if candles weren't on his cake at birthday time? That's the question I'm wondering, you know, maybe.
Harry, you can keep trying. You can keep trying. I'm not replying.
Looking over the wall, long is Poison, and oh dear, Face Crack shut down early on by the Krieg. Z-Power is going to get boosted for the lower tunnel. Nobo's there. Oh. Nobo is one step ahead. He is ready, and he will shut Z-Power down. That is a 5-on-3 now for Complexity, and there's absolutely no chance to trade this. Already, by the way, you'll note they've got Poison down into the pit. This is a big position to have if you're the Complexity side. Sure, you don't have the AWP, and Jerry does within the bomb site, but the Krieg is still so damn good at these ranges. And that's why I think, you know, we've really seen this falling towards these T sides even more in recent memory. They're just going to leave Poison here, because from this position, he can engage these players in the bomb site and just deny this entire clear avenue of information. And so at that point, you know, it's kind of in Complexity's court whether or not they want to play with Long, whether they want to try and move up through this position, or if they just want to use him as kind of a red herring. Now, in this instance, it is going to be the Long play. They're going to group up. They're going to put all 4 players here with a 5th guy in the form of Obo just watching for this mid push. And you can see what this has meant. You know, you can't watch Long if you're fours. You've had to give this up. And instead, you've got Jerry watching it from Catwalk, which, you know, while maybe he gets away with a kill, this is a position he's going to struggle to get too much done from.
Oh, wow. That's such a sick molly as well.
Ooh.
He has to go through it. He has no option unless he wants to die and give the AWP away to a team that don't have an AWP just yet in their repertoire. It's a smart decision from Jerry, but unfortunately, a tough call to make. Fours have got to save as Complexity get the bomb down on the A site. You would have loved to see Jerry have an opportunity to take a kill, and maybe Fours can reconsider that round if Complexity give away frags. But yeah, that Molotov just denies things completely, and Obo will do the same, finding Almeza coming back in through the T spawn, and already Complexity with 5 alive are beginning to hunt. And I love this. Even though they don't have the economy built up, why not smash Fours down to their knees as soon as you can, the second you get around on the board? Jerry almost flicks up, but he can't go anywhere because it's still being covered by Obo on the car. So he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he might just get away with this AWP. Complexity not wanting to run it down. Instead, they'll just run it back. 8th round on this T side, their first taken in the second half.
Lol. That's the word of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Lol.
Thanks, Trace.
Is that your word of the day, or is that like the dictionary's word of the day? Because I know they throw one out there.
They do. I don't know. Like, I don't think they would do acronyms, right?
Maybe acronym could be the word of the day, and then LOL's an example.
Yeah.
Think of some more acronyms. You know, like COL could stand for Complexity on leash, because that's where they are right now. They've been tamed, man. Obo's out through Long. What could Obo stand for? Well, I couldn't tell you, because he's already been removed. Poison gets that trade, and now we're down to a 2 versus 3. The bomb is out in the open. It's going to get retrieved. Poison's been able to get his hands back on it and put that on his back, but Almeza wrapping round in through T-spawn. Blame F seems aware. Oh, the timing there just off. They do not expect that re-aggression. Thankfully, in his dying breath, Poison's been a bit of a hero. He's throwing that bomb through the gap, put it in the hands of Blame, who now, like I don't know American football, but whatever the guy is who gets throwing the ball and just has to leg it, you know, like go for that big run for the
wide
touchdown.
Receiver, the tight end.
I mean, that'll do.
Anybody
That's
can catch
Blame
it, really.
F. That's Blame F right now. He's been throwing this, and he's trying to get the touchdown. He's going for this across the map run, and they've let him get into this B bomb site. There's one man nearby. That man is Z-Power, and he hides in the smoke. Blame taps, and Z-Power shuts him down. It was all or nothing, and it ends up being nothing there for Complexity.
I was wondering, like, why the hell is Z-Power letting him cross? Like, he's watching mid and trying to catch that timing, but more likely than not, Blame's already beat him to B, and Z-Power just lets him in, only giving him a full sense of security to just swiftly steal it away.
Yeah, and, you know, Harry, I like where you were going with the football comparison. I would have to say, given his physique, Blame F sort of has that more of a demeanor of, say, a fullback, you know, like just a powerhouse that's getting in there and driving it to the house, right? Driving it home. But not in that round, obviously.
I like to think he would run on his hands, because they are just, like, his arms are just huge.
Isn't that what Chad and Henry have been learning in the hotel?
Yeah, they've been practicing. It's, I don't know if you've seen that, the little handstand challenge that they've been doing.
Is that like, it's kind of like the ice bucket challenge, but the handstand challenge.
Yeah, this time all the blood flows to your head. That's basically the intention, instead of just cold water. Obo looking into B. Complexity down by 4 now, in a precarious position. But they're closing the gap, or doing their best to. Z-Power's on that AWP, sitting over towards the A site. Watching Catwalk, this is a dangerous angle as well. Letting people get close up, and a flashbang could render him completely useless in this position, and he would have to drop into CT spawn. For now, it won't be A though. Complexity with 4 players inside of the tunnels. Blame selling the mid play. He's actually drawn both players off of B. Now, if Complexity realizes they can get aggressive and clear out that site, but that's a missed fight. That's an unfortunate one to lose. But either way, Complexity gain as they lose. The B site is theirs, and Fours, they can't save here. It's a 5-on-4 retake, not the most standard stuff here on Dust 2.
Yeah, if you're forwards, you're looking at this. You've got 3 flashbangs. You've got kits. You've got everything you need. And that bomb hasn't even gone down.
Wow.
And it never even reaches the bomb site. That's a 4-on-5. Complexity have B control. They've gotten in. And Fours managed to just stop the bomb even getting across and going down. I think that shows, you know, one of 2 things. Both how Fours clearly very, very comfortable to make these kind of decisions and go, you know, they were set up to retake that. And secondly, I think it shows the importance of having that one smoke to get that bomb across into the B bomb site. Because even once you get the mouth of the tunnel, even once you've got no players inside, you can do so much damage through those doors. So it's back to B. This time they've got the smoke with them. That's going to get thrown in from Rush. Be sure to keep an eye on it. He gets that out. It's gone down. Fours desperately trying to get this one back under control, and they do so. So the smoke goes in, but it doesn't matter. The pistols are not enough to overwhelm the full buy of Fours.
I think X-Power gets a double there, if I'm not wrong. I think he gets a double. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, the brute force through the smoke obviously didn't pan out for the side of Complexity. Take a look at this. Yep, boom. Oboe and Rush, doubled up.
Yeah, I mean, this is falling apart. This is it. Do or die right now for Complexity. Their map pick in the series, Fours have just been non-stop on their CT side. Really, really quick reactions to whatever Complexity are doing. And let's see if Complexity have a response. We haven't seen many A-side pieces. C-Power on Catwalk, smoked off. But it does give him a veil to escape through, and Config can't punish him because of the smoke, funnily enough. So C-Power back on the A site. Complexity not getting away with that kill, but they at least get control of the Catwalk. Poison sat back with the AWP watching middle, and Fours are gambling with only 1 man on B. The perfect round to do it, considering how keen Complexity have been towards B in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, and they really haven't given any opportunity here for Complexity to get out long, which is certainly something they've kept on the agenda. Flit trying to push through the smoke and perhaps get a cheeky frag there, as my British friends would say, but that's just not the way that cookie crumbles now, does it, Hugo?
No, Flash is good, but Complexity are able to tuck in the corner, and there's nothing he can do about it. But this is it, last minute of the round potentially, and unless we see a post plant, C-Power going to find first blood or try and find it, but a tag spared for both players as they get away with their life. 10 points of health per player, close to. And now just the A take for Complexity. It's what Fours have been expecting all goddamn round long. They don't even have B control. They are not interested. Almeza, we're going to see him come in on this quick flank. He's done it time and time again through long, through Catwalk, and it could save Fours when they need it most.
Flit's going to get Molotov, but somehow not being burnt. They're going to have to go back and review that Molotov. As the intended purpose just definitely didn't find itself. It's a B split now. The B site's wide open. It's going to be that of Fours trying to come the long way around the map.
That's such a huge call for Complexity. They really read into the setup there from Fours. They saw how many players were getting aggressive on Catwalk. They spotted both Flit, Z-Power with the AWP, another player flashing for them as well. And they realized, okay, add 3 on the A site, and especially a long player, which is common, you know, there's going to be a heavy setup there. And they rotate completely off, go back towards B, but the retake is still happening, Trace.
Yeah, it certainly is still happening, Harry. If I look at this retake 2v4, Oboe has a pretty good spot there to line him up in tunnels. That is not how the story's told. Blame F in the closet. Holding on, finds one. Jerry falls. He's got to set himself up for some more frags here, and Flit's not going to let that be the case. We're looking at map point here for Fours, 15-8.
They just make it look easy.
Yeah, I also think, you know, like, this is a bit of a problem now for Complexity. Maybe it's like they take a few risks that they don't really need to, and you understand why they have Poison, you know, like floating around mid. I think he's listening out, trying to catch those players as they rotate through short. You know, if you're Complexity, you're anticipating that these rotations are going to be a long way away. And I think when Poison dies, it seems like it's only going to be very minimal. You know, oh, okay, well, we lost 1 guy. It's still a 3v4. We're going to hold down the B bomb site. But this is a game that's getting out of hand, right? Complexity are really not the ones in the driver's seat anymore. I don't think they can afford to be taking these risks. If Poison was just with the rest of the team, that kill would have never presented itself. That retake may have never come in, or it may have been stopped in the process, right? But they kind of gave that advantage away. So now they're going to go back to the B play, and once again, they're going to try and get past Almeza. They do this time a lot more convincingly. They deal with both players inside of the B bomb site. So now a man up again, 4-on-3, Complexity, this time with a lurk, still waiting around middle. It's Blame F in that position this time around. and he's got Rush nearby to help out. They're going to wait for Blame F to make this contact, right? He hears the push come in. Now they know. And if you're Z-Power, you're very, very focused, or Jerry in this instance, you're focused on dealing with this close man. And so Config giving up one. But this round should still be a complexity round. There's not enough time for fours, but they've at least done damage at the very end.
Nice jiggle from Jerry. Forces the shots out of Blame, tucked in the corner, and give it away his position once again. That was a great execute from Complexity. We've seen these B plays struggle in the past, and it has been utility that has been the problem a lot of the time. We talk about that door smoke lacking in the one round. Complexity had a 4-on-5 inside of B, weren't able to plant, and Fours kept everyone alive. Well, in that case, the flashbangs were incredible. Flit and Almeza fully blind on the B side. They can only put up one kill between them to hold on to B, and Complexity able to win their second round of the half. Yes, second round of the half. Still up against Map Point on their pick. Fours have it all to play for, and they've only got to win one.
That they do. This is reaching a boiling point here for Complexity, obviously back against the wall for the remainder of the map. They got a long one to climb here. I'm gonna try to abuse this B side a little bit more of a split, if you will. Rush falls, Poison takes a considerable amount of damage, and now they're gonna flood right into the site, right over Blitz's head. Has no idea, and actually, that doesn't go the way you wanted it to. 2v2 here, Harry.
Yeah, bomb going down, but face crack. It's his quick appearance from these upper tunnels that blindsides Obo somewhat. That nade could do a lot of damage. Chips him up a bit. Z-Power's a long way away, but face crack has turned this into a 2-on-1. Obo, now he knows that face crack is in these upper tunnels. He was looking for Z-Power there. He was trying to find where that second man is and was looking for a gunfight. Wasn't able to get one though. And so now he knows his fate. He knows a double peek is coming, but it doesn't even need to come through. Face crack just barrels into the bomb site and he will cement the victory for Fours.
Yes, he certainly has. That is GG on the first map of this series. Dust 2 going the way of Fours. 9 rounds there for Complexity. And ultimately sets us up. We'll have that next